Hi there friends, Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and I'm really excited to film this video for you guys today because of a couple of different reasons. The first one is the book that I am going to talk about today was not one that I originally planned on talking about today, but I just recently finished it and I can't stop thinking about it. So much to the point where I just need to talk about this book with you guys so you see and hear about how amazing it is, and maybe you will want to try to read it as well. The second reason is because you may or may not have noticed there is a brand new friend sitting on my shoulder. I was finally able to travel to the land of Zanzibar again after these years of COVID have kept me away, and I was able to in person pick up a couple new dragon eggs. Yes, you heard that right, a couple new dragon eggs. So this is Razmataz, my brand new friend, and he has a brother that hatched as well, who I will be introducing next week. But anyway, on to the book. So what is this book that has got me so derailed from my normal course of what I was planning to talk about that I just had to shove it in front of everything else? This book is called The Measure by Nikki Erlick. So you may notice right away that it was a Read with Jenna book club book, which was not why I decided to read it, although I find that a lot of the books that are in her book club are usually pretty good. Not as much so as with the Reese books. Whenever there's a Reese Witherspoon book club book, I normally know that I'm going to just absolutely love it. Sometimes these books can be hit or miss, but they're usually pretty good, and this one was no different. It was really phenomenal, actually. But what made me want to read it is because a lot of people were talking about it online, and when I read the premise of this book, I thought it sounded so absolutely fascinating, and I really wanted to learn more about it. So basically, this book takes this question and formulates the entire book around this question, which is this. If you were able to determine, if you were able to learn how long you were going to live, the length of your life, would you want to know? And going a little bit further into that, what would you do with this knowledge? So it takes these two questions and builds an entirely really interesting story. So basically in this book, everybody over the age of 21 receives one day out of the blue this box, their own box. Everybody gets a box. When you open it up, it has a length of string in it. And the length of string is what determines how long you're going to live. So there are people with very short strings, there are people with very long strings, but it is up to the person to decide whether or not they are going to open the box, their box. As people are growing up, like kids and stuff, they don't have them, but when they reach a certain age, the 21 and mark, they will wake up, and then that day there will be a box waiting for them. So no matter where you live, from the biggest city to the jungle to the desert to the ocean, people living on the beaches, it doesn't matter. They will receive a box. And the thing that's really cool about this story is that it does not at all get too bogged down with where do these boxes come from, because I'll let you know right now that is never determined. You never know, and the people in this book never know where these boxes with these strings are coming from. Are they a religious thing? Are they like an alien thing? Are they just something that, came out of nowhere? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, and it doesn't matter where they came from, because this story isn't so much of how this happened, but what these characters are now doing with this knowledge. And when I said that this book is something that really made me think a lot, and it's continuing to make me think even after I finished it, is trying to determine, wow, if I got a box like this, would I open it? Would I want to know? How could I live with that curiosity, that terrible, terrible curiosity of knowing? But if I do and I find out that it's really short, then what do I do with my life? But if I do open it and I find out that it's really long, then what do I do with my life? Does this change what I was already planning to do? And the characters in this book, there are a few of them. They all have to come through this journey and determine what they want their lives to be after this event of the boxes with the strings. So you have a couple best friends that are in the army together who receive their boxes. You get these two people who are pen pals. They become pen pals without really knowing who the other is. You have a married couple who think they originally thought they had a lot longer than they do. You have a doctor who would do anything to save himself, but he can't. You've got all these different characters, and the chapters go back and forth between these characters, but even though there's quite a few of them, it never felt like it was too much. It never felt like, oh, there's too many points of view. I can't, keep track of everybody. It was a perfect amount of people, I think, because it was just a bunch of different people and their life experiences, and how they're dealing with it. I think that this is such an amazing book because it could have gone wrong in so many ways. I think if the author tried to do too much work explaining where the boxes came from or coming up with an explanation, it wouldn't have worked. But because the book starts out when everybody is getting these boxes, and then the few months after that where scientists are testing them and determining, oh my God, yes, this is accurate. These strings really do confirm the length of life that you have. And they're able to actually narrow it down scientifically to the length of your string, to how long you have, to the very year, even to the very month. So it becomes pretty accurate depiction of how long you have left. This book broke my heart and also healed my heart in so many different ways. I grew to love these characters so much, and there are a couple twists that I did not see coming at all. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And then of course there's this awful politician character who has and who decides to use the length of his string to run his campaign, which is really bad. And the people with the long strings are starting to discriminate against people with the short strings and saying, well, we shouldn't let them in these important jobs, or we shouldn't let them do this or that. So there's all these different personal but also sociological ramifications of the boxes arriving, which is just so cool. And for this book is not very long. I mean, it's about 350 pages, which is not very long at all. And it was so good. I wanted more of it. I wanted more of the story. And I felt like these characters, I felt like I knew them. Like I loved them so much by the end of this book. It's a very heartfelt book, very emotional. But I think, and it's very well written too. So don't get me wrong. This isn't just like a fluff piece. It's actually very well written as well. But like I said, I think that the best aspect of this book is what you come away with feeling yourself inside after you're done. And the questions you ask yourself and wonder, if I knew I only had a very short amount of time left, what would I do with my life? Or if I knew I had a really long time ahead of me, what would I do with my life? So really amazing book, The Measure. Highly recommend it. Give it a try. So that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this book sounds really amazing. I loved it so much, and I think you might as well. So please feel free to check it out from Farmington Community Library. Also, please give this video a like. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of the day.